If you spend any time in the woods, you've probably heard something a little off, a little odd. Maybe you saw something a time or two. There's stories from all over, unverified, but often reported.
We were coming back from hiking around Onondaga Lake, which is in central upstate New York. We stopped at Morgan Hill State Forest, which is a huge old growth pine forest, and it was so empty there. There was no other campers.
It was like a logging road. We just went back into the woods for miles. It had this very Pacific Northwest feel to it. Really dense, thick pine trees. We pulled off at this campsite. There's a little fireplace and a picnic table and a spot to throw up a tent. I made a fire and we had dinner and crashed out. We were sleeping in the light hard gear tent, the solo tent.
Rushy was outside the tent.
Rush was outside, staked up.
I was like sick. Like as soon as we got there, I wanted to pass out, and I don't know. I was just feeling like really off, and I was like, I just couldn't wait to go to sleep, which is not normal for me. Usually, I have pretty much like a decent amount of energy, so that was weird to start. And then
It was
the
weird.
Firefly thing.
About 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, I got up to go to the bathroom. The forest was silent. It was really odd. Like there was no bugs, and it felt really weird, except there's this wall of fireflies on the south side of the forest. There's this wall of fireflies, and all around it, it was just darkness and silence. I had this really creeped out feeling. I wanted to get back in the tent as soon as I could. And shortly thereafter, we heard these footsteps. And at first I thought it was a bear coming into the camp. But we were attacked by a bear, and he got right up to the tent, and we never heard him. In like the same kind of forest. He was silent.
I woke up and I heard like bipedal walking around the tent. It was definitely 2 feet. Like I know what animals sound like. I spent plenty of time in the woods. I know what a little rodent sounds like. I know what a deer sounds like, and this sounds like a person walking like 2 feet, like slowly, like walking around.
We could tell from the footsteps that it was bipedal. Whatever it was walking on 2 feet. Just walked around the back perimeter of our tent and like hung out in the pine trees, and it was like it was peeling bark and like throwing little sticks, shuffling its feet here and there over. It'd be quiet for a long time, and then you'd hear something.
But
like,
it didn't stop until it started getting light out. And
it hung out until the birds started singing.
He was telling me, he's like, oh, it's just a porcupine. Yeah, that's not a porcupine. He was like trying to calm me down because I was like laying on top of him, like.
Yeah, I said it was a black bear at first, and then a porcupine. It was crazy. The dog was staked out right outside of the tent, and he didn't bark. Like, he just laid there with his eyes open, just kind of watching, but he didn't bark. And like, this dog he's not a normal dog. He attacked a bear like it was nothing. He went right after a black bear, and whatever this was, the dog just laid down and watched.
But it was definitely 2 feet, and I don't think it was a person. We didn't see any cars. We didn't see any sign of any other person. Like,
we were alone in that woods. There wasn't a person around for miles. Like, we drove out the next morning, and it was a half an hour before we saw somebody driving out of the woods.
in the morning, there was like a line on one side of the tent drawn in like the gravelly sand, like on the closed side of the tent where the rain tarp was. There was like a line drawn. It was weird. Like here's my line in the sand or something. Like don't come in here. We actually do have legends about something like a Bigfoot upstate New York and native legends, and it wasn't a good thing. It would steal people. It would eat people. I don't know. Different tribes have various legends. Some say they traded with them, and from what I know, they were not good. I felt uncomfortable, definitely. I was scared, but it didn't seem to be super aggressive or anything, like another incident we had.
Yeah. It was a very interesting night for sure. We're not saying anything one way or the other, just telling you our experience. And from the sounds of it, quite a few other people have had similar experiences.
I think it's important to actually pay attention to the legends of the area that have been there from over time, because those didn't just come out of nowhere. Like, they come from something. So, you know, everything isn't so black and white. You know, there's stuff out there that we don't know.
You guys got any weird stories about the woods you care to share? We're all ears. Drop a comment. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.